on and fix it.
Jonathan Young.
Mr Speaker, the National-led government came to office with a steely determination to turn the tables on crime so it is no longer victims who pay. Mr Speaker, as a child living in Taranaki, every summer we went on holiday across the country. We left home with our back door unlocked. We did that every summer. Honesty and respect of other people's property was the prevailing attitude in our country that made one of the great places to live in the world. In recent years, many New Zealanders would have looked on in dismay as some of the values that underpin our good and our decent society being eroded. So when this government came to office, there was a strong feeling in the community that crime needed to be attended to. It was out of control and the scales of justice were tilted too far in favour of criminals rather than victims. So, Mr Speaker, our position is that while we understand that the drivers of crime can pervade communities for generations, our position is that crime must never be accepted activity and it must always be resisted and must never be tolerated. And we have worked very hard over this last term to bring some changes which we are seeing the benefit of in our country. It is why law and order continues to be one of the government's biggest priorities. The good news is that under the National-led government, the crime rate has dropped by 6.9% per head of population. We have passed 18 new laws to make families safer in their communities and in their homes. We are addressing the drivers of crime with a range of cross-agency initiatives, and these address behavioural issues in young children, reducing harm caused by alcohol, and alternative approaches to managing low-level offenders and offering pathways out of offending. Mr Speaker, I am very proud to be part of a government that has and is delivering a better and a safer society. One of the biggest law and order issues facing this country is the spread of organised crime. I'm sure you'll be aware, as many others will be, in recent months, of Australia's largest and most troublesome outlaw motorcycle gang, the Rebels, have been attempting to set up base here in New Zealand. Evidence is that gangs are no longer groups of small-time thugs, but they have large criminal businesses with global connections and have a willingness to use violence. And of course, the game changer around all of this has been methamphetamine. The vast amount of money that can be made from the sale of this drug have brought gangs previously unheard of wealth and influence. The police estimate that the combined profit from methamphetamine and cannabis sales alone in New Zealand is between $1.4 and $2.2 billion per year in New Zealand. Mr Speaker, our government has led a charge on its fight against drugs. We are fighting a war against P. P Bus in 2010 took $30.4 million of value of P off the streets. And of course, one of the biggest concerns is that when criminals gain access to large amounts of money, it increases the possibility of corruption taking root. So it has been very important to address this issue. Just on the 1st of September, not long ago, just over a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that every known patched member of the Rebels gang in Taranaki was locked up today, following a massive police hunt. Police executed search warrants at 13 addresses in New Plymouth, 1 in Otaki, 1 in Auckland and 7 in Northland. 10 vehicles were located and searched in New Plymouth. In stark contrast to this, Mr Speaker, it was only 3 years ago that New Plymouth was voted New Zealand's top city, heading off Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland as the best place in New Zealand to live, love, work and raise a family. And so here we see that this gang from Australia that seeks to come and pillage our society, selling their drugs, have sought to take root in the province that I come from, in the city in which I live. And I want to say congratulations to the police. Well done, National-led government, in its war against P, that we have seen this place of New Plymouth eradicate these sorts of issues. The people of New Plymouth no doubt will be thankful, and I'm sure their support will come forth on the 26th of November this year.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.